What's up, everybody? It's Glenn and Big Jack back with another Best Bets of the NFL Weekend video. NFL Week 15. The NFL season is absolutely flying by. Uh, we come off of NFL Week 14, where Jack goes a perfect 3-0, improving his season record to 23-18-1, 56.1% win percentage on the season, which is a number you love to see. I, on the other hand, have a little bit of a down week. I go 1-2. The two losses were kind of tight losses. I was hoping to at least get a 2-1 last week, but we go 1-2. Overall record on the season 22-16-4, 57.9% win percentage on the season. Big Jack, how you feeling after that 3-0 record last week?
Beautiful, baby. Can't get any better than that. Maybe a little fortunate in that Bills Chiefs game. It was a ugly second half with both teams just not really being able to move the ball whatsoever. And then the offsides call and they end up kind of stalling on that last drive. Bills are able to hold on. But yeah, feels great to get 3-0 anytime, no matter how it happens, and puts me in a better position going forward down the rest of the stretch of the season. We're at a point now where there's no more buys the rest of the way. There's a ton of games out on the board. Gives you a little bit of an opportunity to really dig deep into everything. Gives you lots of options, and you don't feel like in certain cases when a lot of teams are on a buy that board's a little tight. Maybe you're forcing a pick here and there, but when you got the full arsenal for your choosing, I feel like you can really zone in on the legitimate three best bets of the weekend, and hopefully we can get them right here down the stretch.
Absolutely. And with our logistics, a lot of times we tape these things on Thursdays more often than not. But this week we're actually doing it Saturday morning before the Saturday slate of games. Three on Saturday, a whole bunch on Sunday. Classic Monday Night Football as well. So we got a nice little spread of games heading our way. Um, Hopefully we can use this in our favor, picking a little closer to game time compared to a few days out. That being said, there's four games I like this week, Jack. We only picked three of them, so I'm going to narrow in on my three that I like. And my first one is a very square bet. I'm not going to lie, but it's just there, and I have to take it. I can't pass it up. Falcons are only 3-point favorites against the Carolina Panthers this week, so I'm going to ride with the Atlanta Falcons. Carolina, arguably, kind of almost undoubtedly the worst team in football this year. They have the worst record. They don't look great on offense or on defense. Granted, that defense is decimated by a bunch of injuries. Um, this pick is very simple. It's very square. It is worst team in football against what I think is probably a slightly below average team, but pretty close to average team with Atlanta, who is fighting for a playoff spot, if I'm correct. Um, so I'm just gonna just not overthink it. I'm gonna go Atlanta. I know the sharp play is probably Carolina on that tight number, as I'm sure you'll probably say. But that being said, Atlanta -3. I got to go with it. I'm not overthinking it. That's my first pick of the week.
Yeah, you know me all too well, man. I typically have a fetish for those tight numbers with bad teams, especially in home spots. But yeah, the Panthers are just so bad that that game sort of caught my eye in the sense of a Panthers lean. I just feel like it's irresponsible to back a team that's been that atrocious. And their point differential is terrible. Like, they're not necessarily losing close games. It's a lot of blowouts. I feel like I would go Panthers, but I certainly can't can't advocate backing a team that's been that bad. Bryce Young is just doesn't seem to be the guy, unfortunately, and it doesn't help that CJ Stroud was picked right behind him, and he looks like a true absolute stud. So yeah, hopefully the Falcons go out and get it done. And your comment is absolutely right. They're in the heat of a playoff race. Kind of leads me into my first pick. That division, Falcons, Bucks, and Saints. I believe all three are 6-7 right now. Going to be another year where potentially under 500 will get you into the playoffs out of the NFC South. And I'm going to take the Saints this week at home. They got the Giants coming into town. I believe the line is 5.5. That's where it was when I checked. To be honest, I have the Chelsea game on my phone right now, so I'm not gonna pull up the line. But if you want to confirm that it's still there, that'd be great. But yeah, 5.5 is what it was on Rivers. I like the Saints to cover that number at home. I know the Giants got a little bit of mojo going, and sometimes I feel like it's ill-advised to go against teams that are riding a little bit of a wave. But I don't know if I can really buy into Tommy DeVito being that great. I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot for them coming off of a massive, exhilarating sort of comeback, not comeback, but last minute win against the Packers at home on Monday night. Like I said, DeVito playing out of his ass after he looked like he had no business being in the NFL in his first start. Dayball is that guy's a magician. He can get it done with anybody, apparently. God bless him. But I think the Giants run into a pretty legitimate defense on the road this week where the Saints, even over the years when they haven't been that great, they still are pretty solid at home. They're tough to beat down in New Orleans. I like them to protect home field, take care of business in a heated playoff race. I think they beat them by at least a touchdown. I'll take the Saints minus the 5.5.
Good news for you, Jack. I got him at -4.5, so even better for you. So
Wonder what that means.
don't think too much into it, but I like where your head's at in that pick. Everybody on Monday night seeing Tommy DeVito go out against the Packers, get that win, that late drive actually against that Packers defense to get that win. I like the Saints in that spot. I think that's a good pick. My first pick of the week, I'm going to ride also a bounce back spot against a team that just got a big win on Monday night. I'm going to take the Houston Texans +3 at the Tennessee Titans. Houston also in that AFC playoff hunt that is awfully muddled up right now. Going to Tennessee, a team that is coming off a big win over Miami. They kind of showed a lot of balls in that win, in my opinion. Vrabel's still a coach that can get something done. Will Levis looks like a guy with something truly about him. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. He looks he looks like a fiery competitor. I kind of like what the guy has going for him. But that being said, I think Houston goes into Tennessee. I think they take care of business. I think they win outright at the Titans this week. That's gonna be my second pick of the week.
I was on the Titans last week, and it looked like such a great no sweat plus 13 point pick. And then all of a sudden, they get that muffed punt. They get that botched little flip on the halfback toss, and they hand the Dolphins two touchdowns in about a 1 minute span of real time, probably like 30 seconds on the game clock. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there on Monday night after I was made the mistake of counting my money and all. Next thing I know, their Dolphins are covering, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" And then, yeah, they made that wild comeback, ballsy move by Vrabel to kind of go for two when they score the first touchdown. Then they're able to win the game on the next one. The only thing that worries me a little bit about your pick is CJ Stroud playing?
Hope to God he's playing.
Well, he had the concussion at the end, towards the end of their last game over the weekend. I'm assuming he probably cleared protocol, but when I saw that line uh, of plus three and a
Oh,
half, knowing how
jeez. I'm looking at the
what,
injury report now, and it's doubtful. That's
yeah.
not
So that's
great.
probably why. Yeah, that's probably why
All
the
right,
line that would. I
I'm
think I
pivoting
think
off
that
that
line would be
pick.
a little closer to even.
I'm pivoting off that pick. I hate to do that. I usually don't do that in this show. Usually, I'm a little bit better prepared. I'm scratching that pick. I'm going to go to an over that I like a lot this week. The Bears defense has been playing better, but I'm going to go the over in the Bears game. The Bears at the Browns, two good defenses, but the total is only 37.5. I'm going to pivot off that Houston Texans. Now that I know CJ Stroud's out, I probably should have known that going in. My apologies to the fans out there. I think the Browns defense has not been as good in recent weeks as they were earlier in the season. That's just the fact of the matter. I think the Bears score 24 plus points in this game. It's just a matter of will the Browns score 14. While the Bears defense has been impressive, The Cleveland Browns offensive line does have 3 guys out. I'm hoping that the Browns can find a way to show up and score some points in this game. I'm tempted to take the Bears against the spread, but that being said, Browns are pretty good at home, and I don't know if that should be scaring me into an under here, but I'm gonna go with the over. My gut says over 37 and a half. That's my second pick of the week. It's not the Houston Texans. It was never the Houston Texans. Not this week. Not definitely not without CJ Stroud. Bears over 37 and a half is my second pick of the week.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pivot. Tough when relying on a backup. Although I will say, I believe Davis Mills is still their backup, and he obviously's got a
Yeah,
decent
he's
amount
not
of
terrible.
experience.
Yeah, he's not
So it's
terrible.
not like a horrible backup situation. But yeah, tough to go against on a team with the backup making his first start of the season.
No doubt.
Either way, moving on to that other pick you sort of pivoted to, I kind of like the logic there. I think a lot of people see a Browns team who, like you said, sort of inconsistent. I was on the Browns kind of here and there early in the year. I really liked them a lot. And it was like where they would kill a team and then they'd lose a game they probably shouldn't lose, and then they'd kill someone. They're kind of up and down. They're certainly a lot better at home. Um, and I think a lot of people see what the Bears defense has been doing. They see a good Browns defense, especially in their building, and they think low number. And yeah, I kind of like the thought process of going against the grain there, seeing some points. Flacco's been putting up some pretty lofty numbers, to be honest, in
Right.
his couple starts. So I like that one. My next one, I don't know if it's like a sick, twisted addiction I have right now, but I can't stop looking away from the same team I'm on. It seems like every week at this point. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park. I'm taking them -2. Cowboys going on the road. Cowboys have been great, blowing everybody out. They just looked phenomenal at home against the Eagles. I just think it's a spot where, like I've been saying about the Bills since they sort of have come out of their bye, they know they need wins. I think this is, I've said this exact same comment before. They remind me a lot of the Bengals in years past where they're kind of middling until about December. And the next thing you know, they don't lose again until they get to the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I really still think it's. I love the Bills to come out of the AFC. I don't know. Can't really put my finger on it. I just do. I think they win at home this weekend quite handily. Number seems a little oddly tight. I feel like it should more so be like a pick 'em than Bills -2. Cowboys have been absolutely rolling. Other than the 49ers, they're probably the best team in the NFL right now. But there are some interesting trends out there of how good the Cowboys offense is when they play on turf, at home in particularly, but just on turf in general. This weekend, they're going to go out to Buffalo, be in some colder conditions. They're not going to be, indoors. I kind of just like Buffalo to use that home field to their advantage. And after a big, probably emotional high for the Cowboys with a nice divisional win against the Eagles, I think I like it to be just a slight, let down spot. I know it's still a massive game and they're kind of pining for that potential one seed in the NFC. They're a little bunched up now, but I don't know. I think the Bills are hungrier in a brutal AFC race for those playoffs. I still think the Bills have an outside chance to win the division. The Dolphins are starting to do what the Dolphins do in December and not look quite like the same team they have all year. I don't know. I just think the Bills kind of put it to them, honestly. So I'll take the -2. I think they win by at least a touchdown. So field goal is great for me.
Yeah, man, I think you're spot on with your logic that the Bills are like the hungriest team in football right now, and I think if they get into that playoff, nobody's going to want to play them. That being said, you're right. Dallas is in incredible form right now. They really are. Um, and the Bills, on the flip side, will they get in? Will they not? Their tiebreaker situation's really bad, man. So I
Yeah.
like for entertainment purposes, I kind of hope they get in because they could beat anybody. I feel like if they get in the playoff, but they're kind of in a bad spot right now. They're playing with a deck stacked against them. So we'll see what ends
Yep.
up happening here. No doubt about it that they're as hungry as anybody in football. and they have one of the best quarterbacks in football, despite some of his turnovers. The guy is incredible. So, um, yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
It's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, interesting stretch coming up for the Cowboys, honestly. They've kinda had a cupcake-ish schedule. I mean, they're in the NFC East, it's the tougher division, but, um, they have the bulk of their schedule is still in front of them, starting with last week against the Eagles, and then they got a few, obviously with this week, and then down the stretch, they got some, big games coming up. So I think it's gonna play in their favor heading into the playoffs. We're definitely gonna see what Dallas is really made of, and it might, kind of prep them for like a legitimate run that the Cowboys haven't had in quite some time.
For sure. All right, my last pick of the week. You've been calling Detroit a house of cards, ready to fold, and they have started to fold, in my opinion. Um, well, I think a lot of people are calling this a potential bounce back spot at home versus Denver. It's 5 points. I'm going to go with Denver, and I'm going to take the points. I think that the Detroit defense is playing some of the worst football in all of football right now. That defense is really bad, and I like picking against bad defenses. Denver, they're not world beaters, but they're a pretty well coached team at this point, and they come up pretty good in clutch situations more often than not. I feel like, so I'm going to take the timely football of Russell Wilson, the good coaching of Sean Payton. Trust that they could put together a game plan and go take advantage of that bad Detroit defense. Denver +5 going to Detroit and getting the job done. Outright winners. Denver Broncos.
Wow, I love the outright winner shout out. Might be worth, sprinkling a little bit, and that game's tonight too, the Saturday
Yes.
night game, so
Yes.
that'll be a great one to get going a little early here and hopefully kick off in the right direction. Yeah, I think you make great points about the way Denver or excuse me, the way Detroit is going, and a lot of people with the logic of, "Okay, now they're gonna all of a sudden turn it on at home," but I don't know, man. Denver, they probably very easily could have, maybe should have won that Houston game. And other than that, they're 6-1 in their last seven. They're playing really well. I want to say Dan Campbell kind of spent a good amount of time coming up in his coaching career on Sean Payton's staff. I think they have a
Yeah.
pretty good relationship, and it's always interesting that dynamic when you see those coaches who know each other so well. And I still, I'm not a big Dan Campbell guy, but obviously I got to give him some credit. But I still think he's not on the level of a Sean Payton. It's kind of like when you see Nick Saban go against all his millions of assistants that he's boosted up across the college platform that are all doing so well in different areas. And it seems like until Sarkeesian in Texas, I think he might have lost once to Jimbo Fisher or something, but his record against his former assistants is like outstanding. It's like
Right.
30 something and two or 30 something and three, whatever it is. So I'd always still kind of like the mentor to kind of take care of the mentees, if you will. But yeah, I think that'll be I do like that pick quite a bit. My last one, there's like you said, there's a few games I like this week with the board being so many options, and I don't know why. I feel like I probably should just lean to one of my other picks, but I'm gonna go with the Cardinals plus 12 and a half at home. It's not a great football team. They've only won 3 games. They're playing arguably the best team in the NFL who's absolutely been rolling in the San Francisco 49ers. I just think it's potentially a let down spot for the 49ers. It's an in division game. Those are still always tough. I think Kyler Murray's got quite a chip on his shoulder. He's got the contract, but the Cardinals got those 2 first round picks now. You wonder if there's a chance they're interested in moving on from him, trying to get out from under that contract and going with the rookie QB. I don't know. There's just a couple things there, and do think the Cardinals can come out and cover that big number at home. 49ers coming off that massive win against the Eagles. They've had 2 wins and sandwiched on the outside of those with the Seattle Seahawks. They got a lot going for them. They're winning games big. So, I understand if that big number wouldn't scare anyone who's backing the 49ers. I don't know. They just got the Ravens next week in a Sunday night spot, potential Super Bowl preview. I certainly don't think the Cardinals are gonna pull it off outright. I'm sure the 49ers are gonna be businesslike enough to get it done. I just could see it being, a little tight, Cardinals have shown the propensity to play teams tight. They've been competing, as much as people kinda were talking smack about their coaching situation. He's got them going for the most part. I don't know. I like them to cover that 12.5 at home, and like I said, I should probably veer away from going against the 49ers and a team likes rolling like that with so many other options on the board, but for whatever reason, I can't get myself to look past it. I'll stick with those Cardinals.
Yeah, man, I like the logic of a home dog, divisional dog, double digit dog. Like you said, 49ers are rolling about as good as anybody, but I like the logic there with the pick. All right, just to recap, my three picks of the week: Atlanta -3 at Carolina, the over 37.5 in the Bears at Browns game, and Denver +5 at Detroit. Jack's three picks of the week: New Orleans -4.5 at home versus the New York Giants, Buffalo -2 at home versus the Dallas Cowboys, and Arizona +12.5 at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. The parlay is locked already. I like where it's at, almost plus 5,000 odds. You got to love to see that. It'd be nice if it hit. I think we had maybe one this year with a couple pushes. It'd be nice to get a six-legger, hit all of them. But uh, let's see if we can't build on these records, Jack. Keep it above 55% for the two of us. Any last words for the fans out there?
No, man, enjoy it. We've been saying it these past couple weeks, but it's coming in hot and heavy. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Before we know it, it'll be the best time of year with the playoffs. But then, unfortunately, those skate by pretty quick, and it's all she wrote for another few long few months. But yeah, enjoy it. I know a lot of people probably got fantasy football playoffs kicking off this week, so good luck to all those out there who are still fighting for some decent bankroll that you can start putting into the playoff games.
Quick shout out to my brother Matt, who claims he watches all of our videos. So we got to hit him with a quick shout out. He might be the only person out there. So shout him
Oh
out.
yeah,
Uh,
guy's
till,
a
ne-
legend.
till next time, like and subscribe. Jack, hit him with it one time.
Mm, Bears.